Hello, 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 everyone. Come on into the webinar. I am so glad that you decided to join me today so that I can share with you correct information about what is going on with grants as it pertains to communities of color. So my name is Linda Peavy. I'm going to be your host for this afternoon. So let me know who is here with me. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. I see you coming in. Give that city and the state a shout out. Give your city or your state a shout out. Let me know where you are coming in from. I'm in the land, not too far from Cleveland, Ohio, where it is what? Oh, kind of chilly today, 58 degrees, but we're not complaining. Hello, Selena. Selena from Indianapolis. Oh, just our neighbors to the west, right? And who's coming in from the Motor City, Detroit? Candace and Dolores from East Stroudsburg. Where are you? I used to live in Pennsylvania. And Nisa from Tampa. And Sandra from Seattle. I was in your beautiful city a couple of months ago. And guess what? It didn't rain not once. And Don is coming in from Baltimore. Hello, Roderick from Alabama. The Bama has shown up. And Carol from Long Beach, California. And Kimberly from Westland, Michigan. Hello, Randolph from Salisbury, Maryland. And Kay is coming in from California. Look at Seattle showing up. Hello, Lorraine from Seattle. And the Ohio, excuse me, is up in the house. Our state's capital, Columbus, is being represented by N. Brown. Take a sip while I start. All right. Who else? Who else? Kokomo, Indiana. We have Jody and Carmen's coming in from San Bernardino, California, and Nolans has shown up with Paula. And we've got New York City, Harlem is up in the house. Hello, Frederick from Harlem. And Tara's coming in from Memphis. Oh, the place with the good barbecue. Memphis, yes. Dolores, excuse me, you're in the Poconos. So I know exactly where you are. I used to live in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. So you're like just a little north of where I used to live in the beautiful Poconos, right? And Jonathan is coming in from St. Louis, and Geraldine is coming in from Indianapolis. And the Big D Dallas has shown up with Melvin. Hello, Paul from Dunn, North Carolina. And Tabitha is coming in from Miami, and Akila from Illinois. Welcome, everyone. Glenn from New York City, and Kahende, is that right? Kahende from New York, and Larry from Nolans. I love that you pronounced my name correctly. Excellent, excellent. And Ebony from San Bernardino, and Cheryl from Tampa, Randolph from North Carolina, and Tony from the Bay, California is showing up strong today. And Monique from Macon. Oh, I've been in Macon, Georgia several times. I know exactly where you are. Welcome, everyone. I am very glad that you decided to hop on this masterclass because what I'm going to share with you is very important that you understand what is going on with grants so that I can navigate you around these hurdles that are being placed in our way, right? So just so you know, I keep it real. I'm going to keep it real today. My name is Linda Peavy. I'm going to be your host. We're going to get started because I have a lot of information to share with you. And we're live. We are live in the land. Now, where we are still upset about those Cavaliers, but I digress. All right. Well, congratulations. We've got Indianapolis in here, right? Your Pacers are doing quite well. All right. They beat us pretty bad, but okay, let's keep moving. All right. Now I'm over it. All right. So let me share my screen. All right. Let me make sure everything is looking good as I share my screen. Let's see. Come on. Okay, there we go. All right. I think we're good to go. Let me make sure everybody's in the right place So this is grant writing for Black-owned businesses and your Black-led nonprofits. This is the masterclass that I am very glad that you are here with me, because I'm going to share some information that probably not a lot of organizations are sharing with you, that you are going to need to know, and hopefully you will be encouraged by what you hear today. All right, so let's get started. This is my noon session, by the way. I'm also live at 7 o'clock tonight. So I'm going to give you a link a little bit later, just in case you know anyone who can hop on at 7 o'clock, because I tell you this information is what you need to hear. And I want you to be able to share it with other communities of color. All right. My background. Yes, I'm called the Grants Queen because I have secured, it's almost $18 million now worth of grants and funding. This is year 17 of me owning my business, LaPav Consulting. And every one of those years, I have served as a professional grant writer. My undergrad and graduate degrees are from the University of Akron in Akron, Ohio, go Zips. And I provide grant writing workshops. So I teach. I teach grant writing now. I instruct, and I teach private organizations as well as some of your major corporations. So from your private entities, that's why I was in Seattle a couple of months ago teaching grant writing to small businesses, but also the Urban League and Goldman Sachs. I teach grant writing too. Now, speaking of Goldman Sachs, I'm a proud alumnus of their 10,000 Small Businesses program. Now, I have a business, but I used to lead a nonprofit. So let me know who is here with me today. Let me know if you are a small business, meaning you could be a sole proprietor, right? Or an LLC, or an S Corp, or a partnership, or are you a nonprofit? Or maybe you are both, because I am finding that a lot of for-profits are starting nonprofits. So maybe you're both, which is really smart, right? Because it means that you place yourself in the best possible position to get grants, all right? So let me know in the chat. Nonprofit, small business, both excellent. One to start an LLC, going towards a nonprofit. I own a C Corp and LLC, the board chair of a nonprofit. Excellent, excellent. All right. Nonprofit, LLC. So we have a mix of both. And this is important because I need for you to know very clearly that there are grants for both entities. Yes, there are grants for nonprofits. We've known that for many years, right? But there are also grants for small businesses, right? Like your LLCs or your partnerships or even your C Corps, right? So this is what I need for you to understand, right? Because this is relatively new. When we thought about a grant, what do we think about? A nonprofit, but everything is different now. So yes, there absolutely are grants for small businesses, all right? So we will talk about both as we move forward. Now, how did I get in this space? I used to be a publishing executive in Pennsylvania. Someone's here from Pennsylvania. A couple of people are here from Pennsylvania. And I had a great job traveling all over the world, right? Publishing executive. And then the bottom fell out. I went from traveling the world to getting injured, having to move back home to Cleveland to recuperate, putting everything I owned into a storage unit in Cleveland, and moving in with my sister. Literally came home in a wheelchair. Couldn't stand, couldn't walk, couldn't do anything. And it took me 2 years to recuperate. At the end of those 2 years, I could not find a job. I was in Cleveland. Cleveland is not the publishing mecca of the United States, right? So that's when I started LaPav Consulting. When I say I started with goose egg, I started from zero, like sub-zero, right? Because first I had to get well. So when I know where you are, I know where you are. For those of you who started with nothing, because I've been there. That was 17 years ago. I haven't looked back since. Well, once I started my company, one of my first contracted positions was to be the executive director of a nonprofit. Now, I don't think I was there 2 weeks before I was called into the board of directors office and told that I had to write a grant that would pay for my salary. Now, we're all family here today, right? So you know that there are times when people who look like us are what? We're called in to save the program, to save the project, and sometimes to save the entire organization. So you know what I mean? Give me a yes in the chat, right? Well, that's what I had to do. And keep in mind, I had never seen a grant before, ever. I had no knowledge of grants, right? Oh, I'm seeing some yeses. Oh, you know what I mean, right? Keep it real today. I had never seen a grant, and I'm being asked to write one to save my job. But you know what? I did it. I did the research. I wrote that grant. I won that grant. And I now know, and what I'm going to share with you is that you can do this. If you have never written a grant before, you can do it. You can write grants with zero experience. You can win grants with zero experience. There is a framework that I have developed, and I understand this now after having won almost $18 million. Well, there's a process to winning. And it's about more than you just answering some questions on a grant application. This is what I've learned. And this is what I'm going to be sharing with you today. All right. This is about more than the application. There's a framework to this, right? That's what I'll be showing you today. And you know what I learned after having won that grant? What you can do with grant money, right? I know some of you are tired of using your own money to fund your dream, right? I hear from you. It's been 17 years I've been in this industry. I hear from you all the time. You're tired of using your own money, money that some of you do not even have, right? Or you're tired of wearing all 20 hats, right? Can you get a little bit of help? Grant money can allow you to pay for your startup costs, to pay for help, to pay for staff, right? So you can do this. And why not use somebody else's money to help fund your organization, right? Grants are not paid back. Grants are coming from third-party entities. And that's what they're created for. And you'll understand as we move through that there is absolutely still grant funding, even for you as a Black organization, regardless of what you are seeing on TV or reading in the media, right? So I'm here to cut through a lot of that chaos, right? What else are we going to talk about today, other than what you can do with grant money? The current grant landscape that you need to understand so that I can show you how to navigate through it. Grant basics. How do you prepare to apply for grants? What do you write in the application? How do you write the application so that you're getting noticed in a sea of applications? And then how do you get noticed? How do you conduct the grant research so that you're seeking organizations that literally want to give you funding? And then I have a list of funds available for you so that you understand there's still grant money for Black organizations, regardless of what you're seeing in the media. And then I have a bonus surprise. Then we're going to do a Q&A. Speaking of Q&A, as we move through the presentation, please drop your questions in either the chat, webinar chat, or the Q&A box. We're going to get to the Q&A. I'm going to answer all of the questions at the end. But as we move through, do not be hesitant. This is your opportunity to ask a grants expert your questions about grants. All right? Now, I'm here to help you because you need help. There have been many, many roadblocks put in your way, especially since January. So I'm here to help you move through this, right? So that you do not give up, right? Which sometimes I think is the plan. All right? So you're going to get the replay. You're going to get it for free. I am not charging you for this replay because I need for you to have this information and to share it, especially with other Black organizations, right? So you'll get the replay. You'll get it tonight. It will be free to you. You'll have it forever. All right? Let's get ready to roll, to rock and roll. All right. Why are we here? We're here because as Black organizations, we need access to funding. And guess what? It shouldn't always be about loans. Are you as tired as I am of hearing about loans? We want grant money because grant money, you don't pay back. And let me say this to you, you can do this. You can do this. All right? Grant writing is not what it used to be. You're not sitting in some corner writing some 500-page document for 3 months. I know that is exactly what I used to do. A lot of the applications are 2 and 3 pages. All right. Why? Because foundations no longer have the staff to review 100 and 300-page documents. So that's why the applications are so short now, quick and to the point. So you can do this, but you have to understand there's a process. As I mentioned, this is about more than answering a question. This is about more than the grant application, and that is what I'm showing you today. There's a process to this that goes beyond what you write in the application. So understand there's a process. That's why I'm a huge believer in being in a community of support where you can get answers to the questions that you have as you navigate this grant maze, right? All right, so just understand there's a process, but I'm going to show you the process, all right, today. Now, let's talk about what's happening with the grant world. Now, we know that the federal grants have been decreased basically to zero, right? Grants have been frozen, grants have been rescinded. But what I need for you to understand clearly, federal grants do not equal all grants. I'm going to say that again. Federal grants do not equal all grants. I rarely even discuss federal grants because they're difficult to get. They're usually large dollars, so a lot of the government grants require partnerships, and really, you need significant grant writing experience. I have won them before. I am familiar with them. I rarely discuss them. What you hear me discuss often is your private, community, family, and corporate foundation grants, and they are still here, and they are still plentiful. And guess what? They cover nonprofits and small businesses. So this is what I need for you to understand. Grants are very much available. So oftentimes you have to drown out the noise that is coming from the media that may have you thinking, oh my gosh, there are no grants, which is exactly what was happening. That is what is happening. People are assuming that because federal grants have been cut, there goes the grant opportunities. Not true. As a matter of fact, there are opportunities that exist for you because of what is going on with federal grants. One, there is this misnomer that there are no more grants, period, because the federal grants were cut. What does that mean? That means fewer people are applying for grants. That means less competition. That means you are going to swoop in and start applying for these grants. All right. Next, because of the significant cuts in federal grants, your local and corporate and family foundations are increasing their funding because they're trying to fill in the gaps left by the decline in federal grants, because the need, I can tell you, is greater than ever for grant money. So again, opportunity for you to start looking inward, meaning you need to be developing relationships with your local community foundations, your local corporate foundations, your local family foundations, right? Again, opportunity that didn't even exist last year, right? So what has been created to try to put a boulder in front of you, I need for you to turn it around and remove it and turn it into something that's positive. All right? All right. Now, also what I need for you to do is to diversify your funding. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, especially since they're $12 a dozen. Yes, seek grants, but also you should be seeking sponsorships and individual donations, and yes, corporate contracts, and yes, small businesses, even contractors and consultants and coaches can get corporate contracts. And then your donor advisory funds, they're typically available through your community foundation. So diversify that funding. Now, here's the great news. We talked about the fact that a lot of these corporate and private foundations are stepping in to cover the gaps left by the federal grant cuts. But guess what else is happening? Your state and local governments are continuing to offer grant money. 2 weeks ago, I was in a meeting, brand new, like $30 million grant here in the state of Ohio. Last week, I heard about another, I think this was like a $40 million grant, state of Michigan. Because keep in mind, state and local government grants do not always filter down from the federal government. Oftentimes, these governments raise their own funding. So once again, you should be seeking local and government grants, including county grants, right? In addition to your local and corporate and community and private foundation grants. So the good news, grants are available. All right, grants are available. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, DEI. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. We know that DEI has specifically benefited white women, right? But DEI also includes women of any ethnicity and minorities and veterans and the disabled, right? So here's what's happening. Foundations are being very, very careful. Those that have a really a mission to fund these communities are needing to be careful because they want to continue funding who they want to fund without feeling the wrath of what's going on in Washington. And this is also what you're going to do, because at the end of the day, they're not changing who they fund. You don't change who you help, right? You don't change your target population. You're going to change how you describe who you help, which is what they're doing, right? But at the end of the day, here's more good news. There are some foundations that are doubling down. Your Ford Foundation, your Kellogg Foundation, you go to their websites, they boldly express the fact that they are funding communities of color and addressing racial inequity. But a lot of your newer foundations like Google and Apple and Delta and Costco, these are new compared to like 100-year-old foundations like Kellogg and Ford. They fund these communities. But again, they don't want to feel the wrath of the White House. So what are they doing? They are tweaking the language, right? They're not changing who they serve. They're tweaking how they describe who they serve. And this is what you're going to do. So you may need to tweak your language, take out ethnicity and put in the barrier, right? Describe the conditions, not the categories. So let me show you exactly what you need to do. It's called Quiet DEI, by the way. Quiet DEI. Let's say you have a program that offers youth development opportunities for Black boys. That's who you serve. You serve Black boys. You don't change who you serve. You change how you describe who you serve. So now you may need to say we provide youth development for historically underserved and underrepresented boys. By DEI, we know we're talking about Black boys, right? Or serving boys disproportionately impacted by economic and educational inequities. Or supporting boys from communities designated, right, as high need or underrepresented in STEM, Black boys, right? So you're tweaking that language because at the end of the day, your job is to get the grant money, even if you have to tweak the language a bit, all right? Now, the same for women. Let's say you have a coaching business. You provide employment and career coaching for women. You may have to tweak the language a bit to say, our program offers workforce development support for those facing systemic barriers to career advancement, or providing career development services tailored to those who experience unique workforce challenges due to caregiving responsibilities, wage gaps, and systemic inequities. Do you see what I am doing here? Now, there may be occasions where you don't have to change a word, but there may be others where you may need to, and you're going to look for these particular phrases: underrepresented, right? Systemic barriers. Because again, at the end of the day, your goal is to get the grant, even if you have to tweak your language. Now, this is very important. So I need to know that you're understanding what I am showing you. So give me a yes if you understand what we are doing here. This is very important for you to be able to navigate around what is going on, so at the end of the day, you still get your grant funding, right? Got it? I'm seeing some yeses. Got it, got it, got it. All right, excellent, excellent. Now, we're going to go back to the basics. What do you need to know about grants? Grants are not paid back, full stop, all right? Now, for the next minute, I'm only talking to nonprofits. Get your 501c3. It is going to be required. That is your tax-exempt charitable organization designation by the IRS. Keep dropping your questions in the Q&A or the chat. I see some great questions. Keep them coming, all right? Now, the good news for you is that it's only taking about 6 to 8 weeks to get your 501c3. It used to take 6 months, right? So get your 501c3 nonprofits. I'm just talking to nonprofits, all right? Now, from this point forward in the presentation, I'm talking to everybody, small businesses and nonprofits, especially with this next slide. I need for everybody to look at this slide. This is grant annual funding. This is how much grant money is provided every year. I'm just focusing on foundation and corporation, and to a smaller extent, bequest giving. These are the latest numbers, 2023, $189 billion. Do you see federal funding anywhere on this slide? No. This is the money that is still being given out every single day. Every single day, this money is being given out. Why not place yourself in a position to get it? Right? And these numbers are expected to increase. And I haven't even thrown in individual giving. You throw in individual giving, now you're up to $450 billion. But let's just focus on just foundation and corporation giving. Look at this number. But don't be intimidated by it. I don't want you to see it and think, oh gosh, Linda, there's no way I can get any portion of that. It's just intimidating, right? No, because at the end of the day, you need what you need. I need you to focus on what you need, right? So right now, everybody in the chat, I want you to write, I just need a little bit. All of you write, I just need a little bit, because at the end of the day, I need for you to focus on what you need. And you just need a little bit of $189 billion, right? You just need what you need, right? Nobody's trying to be greedy. Tony, do you need it all? Roderick, are you trying to get all $189 billion, right? Lena, will you accept just a slice of this massive pie, right? This money is being given out every day. Every day. And guess what? That's right, Randolph. Just a portion. Organizations that look just like you are getting it. That's right. Geraldine says, just let me hold something, right? Just let me hold something. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Focus on what you need. So when you see these large numbers, do not be intimidated by them. Now, I need for you to be grant ready. You need to be prepared to apply for grants. This is where many of you go wrong. And what I want you to do is just get some editing help, right? Because there's no perfect grant application. There's no perfect writer. If you use Grammarly, give yourself some love right now in the chat. What is it? It is a free software editing tool. You download it onto your computer. It literally will self-correct as you write. Why am I talking about this? Because I do not want you submitting grant applications full of grammatical errors. And it's happening a lot. And it's very easy to do, right? I am a professional writer, a professional editor, and a professional grant writer. I wouldn't write without Grammarly. I wouldn't write without Grammarly. It's free. Now, they have a pro version, I have, but you don't need a pro version. Download the free version. All right. And courtesy of Grammarly, we have this great article. Improve writing skills dramatically by doing these 15 things, because what I need for you to know is that you do not have to be a professional writer to get grants. Nisa is using it. Yes. Right? She's the only one using Grammarly. Download it, people. It is free. I'm telling you, it will change your writing life. Kay is using it. Randolph says it saves my life every day. Okay, I'm telling you. Jacqueline uses it. I wouldn't write without it. We're going to talk about ChatGPT later on. You use ChatGPT, if I can get it out, differently. Grammarly, you download onto your computer so that it's part of your Outlook, it's part of your work. So literally, as you write, it self-corrects. Whereas with ChatGPT, you've got to upload your document into Chat, right? This is totally different. All right. Yes, that's right, Jaquetta. It's embedded into your Word document. It's amazing. It's incredible. And it's free. It's free. All right. So download it. Download it. Now, you need to prepare to apply for grants. What else do you need? You need to get those documents in order, your EIN, your employer identification number. Nonprofits, you need your 501c3. For-profits, are you a legitimate organization? Do you have your articles of incorporation? In some states, you actually need a state certification as well. Now, I know in Ohio, Florida, Georgia, you do. Wyoming, you don't. Check with your Secretary of State, find out whether or not you also need a business license. Now, especially nonprofits, it's mandated that you have a board of directors. Get your list together. Letters of support will only strengthen your application. Drop names if you have to. Do you know the mayor? Do you know politicians? Can they write you a letter of support? What about your pastor? What about your church? What about community leaders, right? What about your vendors? Now, if you are currently operating, you will need your financial statements, your balance sheet, and your profit and loss statement, which is also called an income statement. Now, next, I do not want you to be scared of this, right? You're going to need an operating budget. Now, you can get templates online. All it is, before you start freaking out, all it is a document where you are going to estimate what you believe your expenses are going to be for the year. Because at the end of the day, you need to know approximately how much money is it going to take for you to operate your organization. Like, you must know approximately, it doesn't have to be exact, because you need to understand this information in order for you to determine how much grant money you need. So literally do a draft operating budget. Just estimate your expenses, right? It will help you. It will help you. All right. Now, I'm going to go through the typical components of a grant application and give you best practices so that you understand how to write, so that at the end of the day, you're telling your story, because that is what a grant application is. It is an opportunity for you to tell your story. We're going to start with the mission. The mission is everything. And I often get asked, Linda, I'm a for-profit. Do I really need a mission? Absolutely, you need a mission statement. It defines who you are and what you do. But more importantly than that, it's going to align you to the foundation that wants to give you funding, because you need to align your mission to their mission. If you are like laser focused on K through 12 education, find a foundation that also has a mission that cares about education. So if you don't have a mission statement, one, you won't be getting any grants. Two, you have homework to do. That's your homework. Homework 101. Create your mission. It is critical. And no, you don't change your mission based on what foundation you seek money from. You have one mission. Doesn't change. All right. Now, this next section is how you are going to set yourself apart from everybody else. How you describe your organization must be in terms of impact. One word, impact, using real numbers. Grant funding changed a couple of years ago. Like, no longer are foundations giving money because organizations want to save the world, or these feel-good initiatives, I just want to help the homeless. How are you helping the homeless? How are you changing the world? What has been your impact? What are the real numbers? What is it that you can show us to prove that you've been impactful? How is it that you are helping those for whom you serve? And it doesn't matter your industry. Doesn't matter if you are a nonprofit or for-profit. You can open up a for-profit restaurant. What is the impact? How many people do you hire? Meaning you're changing their lives right there, right? What has been your impact in your community, right? Because you open, maybe you moved into an underrepresented community and your restaurant has really impacted that neighborhood. Or maybe you have a homeless ministry, you have a nonprofit. How many homeless people have you placed in shelters? What has been the end result? Are they now getting jobs because they have a roof over their heads, right? Did they go back and get their GEDs? Impact using real numbers. Let's say you haven't even opened. Let's say you want to open a tutoring organization for high school kids. Now you can say, I expect my impact will be, once I open, that when those students complete my tutoring program, I project that they will increase their reading scores or the math scores by 10%. So whether you are currently open or whether you are going to open, you need to write this grant application thinking about impact, using real numbers. And by the way, one of the best ways possible to show impact is using video. If you're currently open, you should have your clients pick up their cell phone, give you a 30-second video, put it on the homepage of your website. All right. And when you write, you must write as if you are solving a problem or addressing a need. And this tends to be really difficult to frame, especially for for-profits, but you must do it. This is how you win grants, right? And again, it doesn't matter your industry. I'm going to take an LLC that is a bakery. A bakery wants to locate in a downtown community, needs a $20,000 grant. And you might be saying, what problem is she solving? She's making red velvet cake all day, right? Well, maybe she decided to open a vegan bakery because vegans don't have a lot of great places to buy baked goods, right? So she's solving their problem. Or maybe it's all about economic development. So she's seeking a community development grant because she wants to help revitalize the community that she's moving into. Whatever that problem is or that issue it is that you are addressing, it's going to connect you to the foundation that wants to give you money to help resolve it because it's going to be near and dear to their hearts, right? That's why you have to know where and how foundations fund. How do you find out? You go to their websites. The problem is 90% of foundations don't even have a website, but a lot of the major ones do. Smaller ones, you just have to get a little bit more creative. All right? Now, some of you get into real trouble here. I've been a business coach for 16 years, and oftentimes when I ask, who are you serving? I get one answer. Oh, Linda, I help everybody. If they come my way, I have to help them. That's a big no. No. You cannot help everybody. The more you try to pile on your programming, program after program, helping anybody that comes your way, the more you pile on, the more different populations you try to serve, the more you dilute your efforts. The more you dilute your programming and the less effective you are going to be. So you need to niche down. You need to have one, maybe two target populations. Is that restaurant a soul food restaurant or Italian restaurant, right? You're helping veterans. What kind of veterans? Homeless veterans, veterans that have PTSD and may need mental health and wellness counseling. One, maybe two target populations. Can't help everybody. This is how you get burnt out. All right. Now, all of you have a decision to make. When you approach a foundation, are you asking for operating grants or program project grants? Now, you know we love to get operating grant money because when you get an operating grant, you decide where to put that grant money. It could go towards your lease, IT, staff, your salaries. It's really to help build your capacity or to pay for your administrative costs, right? Your operating costs. About 32% of grants are given in this area. Most grants have to go to a particular program or project or service. Let's take that bakery. Maybe she wants to start a delivery service. That could be a program, right? But decide. For each foundation, it has to be one or the other. And speaking of foundations, you need to apply to multiple foundations. Like this is not a one and done industry. I want you to tell me why. Let me know in the chat. Why do you think you must apply to multiple foundations when you are seeking grant money? Let me know in the chat. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. So let me know in the chat. Why do you think you have to apply to multiple foundations? Why? Competition and Brown, absolutely. Absolutely. Increase your chances of funding. Yes, Diamond, in case one gets denied, right? Yes. Mesa Foundation will only fund according to their focus. Say it again for the people in the back row. Foundations will fund only according to their focus. That's right. That's why you have to know where they fund. This is one of the biggest issues I've seen over the past 17 years. People see a grant, they see that money, and it's like, I have to apply. It's like, I have to apply. No, you don't. All right. Now, Ebony, you may get multiple grants. Yes. See your vision, your vision in your heart, Randolph. Yes. Foundations also have different deadlines, Monty, right? But here's one of the biggest issues. Grants are not guaranteed. Do not let anybody tell you they can guarantee you grant money. I see this all the time. Social media, apply here. Everybody gets awarded. Nobody denied. They're called scammers. 99.9% of the time, they're called scammers. No such thing as guaranteed grant money. So just be careful. Now, partnerships, I cannot express to you the importance of community partners. This is going to strengthen your grant application, right? Choose well-respected organizations to partner with. And I don't necessarily mean in exchange of money. Partnerships can look many ways, whether it's a library, and I think libraries, by the way, are criminally underutilized. Let's say you have an accounting firm. It's still tax season. You give a tax talk 1 hour every month at your local library. They are going to promote you. They're going to promote your tax talk. That's what they do. And you know they have everybody's email address, right? Why is this important? What does this have to do with grants? Because when they promote you, it's going to increase your level of visibility. You need to increase your level of visibility. Some of you have great programs. Nobody knows about the program and nobody knows about you, not even your own community. This is why you have to increase your level of visibility, because foundations are always seeking and reviewing and looking out for who's doing what in their community. So you need to promote who you are and what you do. Whether your partner is the Urban League or HBCUs or the Y or Boys and Girls Club, connect with a well-respected entity so that you get a little bit of their shine. Let me make this super clear. Young lady has a re-entry program, meaning that she wants to make sure that ex-offenders are reacclimated into society and become successful members of the community. Now, this reentry program, you know, she has to meet with the inmates, right, before they are released from jail to make sure they qualify for her program. I want to hear from you in the chat. Who do you think her community partnership should be? Now, she's got to meet with the inmates while they're in jail, interview them, right? Make sure they qualify for the program. Who should her partners be in the community? This is a reentry program. Keep in mind, everybody wants that recidivism rate to be low. That's the rate at which prisoners will go back to jail. Even the city, right? Everybody wants that to be low. Tell me in the chat, who should she be meeting with? Who? Courts, Roderick, absolutely. Right? Correction facilities. N. Brown, yes, absolutely, absolutely. She has to get access to the jail and the courts, right? Maybe they're going to have new court dates, right? Probation officer, the job corps, Paula, right? You don't want them to be unemployed. You want them to become skilled workers, right? Universities that provide classes, the police department, absolutely, right? Public defenders, right? They're going to need help. Rehabilitation centers, right? They may be addicted to drugs, right? They may need help. They may need mental health and wellness counseling, right? There's trauma just from being in jail, right? Shelters, exactly, Deneen. You don't want them to be homeless. Law firms, do you see how in seconds we came up with probably 20 housing and apartments? You don't want them to be homeless. Therapy, you know they're going to need mental health and wellness counseling. Do you see this is not difficult to do? Now, this is what I want all of you to do. This is your homework. I need you to name 5 organizations that you are going to meet with in your community. 5. And no, you don't have to have solidified the partnership to include it on your grant application. You can list the names and say, I'm going to be meeting with these entities, right? So this is homework. Name 5 based on your program or your service or your organization, because this is everything. You never know who knows who. So you could be in partnership with an organization that knows somebody that sits on the board of the foundation that you're going to be seeking money from. That's why I mentioned use well-respected organizations in your community to partner with. All right, we're on to the money. This is a budget. This is how you're going to explain your use of the grant money. Just itemize those expenses. You need supplies. How many supplies do you need? Who's using the supplies? How much are the supplies? Now, your explanation of how you're using the grant money goes into the budget narrative. The actual numbers go into the budget, typically an Excel file. All right. But here's a clue. I always create a narrative, always, even if the grant does not ask for one, because I want that foundation to know that I understand that this money has to align with the goal of my program. So I always give a narrative as how I'm using the funding and how it supports the mission of the program. All right. Now, I know some of you are like, Linda, it doesn't sound bad. It sounds okay, but I don't have time to write these grants. I don't have time to write these grants. Remember I said to you at the beginning that some of these grants are 3 and 4 and 5 pages, right? And with the development of AI, like you've got to lay that excuse to rest because AI will literally give you back your time. It is amazing. We'll talk about it a little bit later. It is amazing. So you can do this. But for those of you that are still thinking, I don't know. I don't know if I have time, Linda. I have a question for all of you. And I would like an answer in the chat. Do you have time to get free money? Do you have time to get free money? It appears that nobody has time to get free money. So I don't know. Let me see in the chat. Oh, I'm saying yes. I'm saying absolutely. I'm saying yes. Somebody's talking about AI. It's incredible. I'm saying absolutely. I'm saying yes, 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 yes. I'm saying yes, of course. So it sounds to me like you've got time to get free money. Somebody says, I looked at my watch, I got time today, okay? So it sounds like you got time to get some free money. All right, so if you got time to get free money, somebody has cranked out 17 grants and 9 LOIs since February, right? If you got time to get free money, I need for you to spend just a little bit of time, on the process to get the free money, the process. People, this is a slide here. If you don't take anything else away from this masterclass, this is it. Now you're going to get a replay tonight, but do your screenshot, do whatever, because this is as important as anything you will ever write in the grant application. You need to meet with this foundation before you submit the application because you are going to build a relationship. You want to meet with the foundations. There's nothing to be fearful of. You want to meet with the foundations. They want to meet with you. They're considering giving you grant money. You want to meet with them. You're attempting to get their grant money. And let me tell you that in this meeting, they will give you some grant nuggets and some insight that's not even on the website. I've probably set up 1,000 of these meetings in the last 17 years. One, I always remember that one client got $30,000 after a 30-minute Zoom meeting because the missions align. And yes, I said Zoom. Most of these meetings are 30-minute Zoom meetings. Like you can do this. Now, if you live in close proximity to the foundation, meet with them in person. All right? Before you submit the application, because they often will give you nuggets. They will show you and guide you as to what you need to do to write the best application in this meeting. Yes. Now, how do you meet with them? You're going to send them an email. In the email, you are describing your organization. All right, there's literally a format to this. You describe your organization. You never, ever, ever ask for money in the email. You're asking for a meeting. In the meeting, you're asking for money. Now, we're on to the grant research. This is how you find the money. People, Google is fine, but I need for you to use a grant portal that is specially set up to give you information about grants. The Foundation Directory Online, otherwise called Candid, they changed their names, but the URL is still FDL. The leading source of information on grants in the US. They give you information about the organizations providing the grants, not the grant itself. So if you're in Detroit and you have a program where you help disabled veterans get into transitional housing, you input your information, you push a button, it will give you a list of organizations that will provide funding for that type of a program. Whether you are a small business or a nonprofit, you can choose from sites like FDL. Even grants.gov, yes, even the federal government gives grants to small businesses. Depends on the agency. Lilly Foundation, do you have a church or a faith-based organization? Yes, there are grants for you. Even Walmart gives grants to churches, right? Grantwatch.com. Now, they give you the actual grant opening, the synopsis of the grant, the deadline, the sponsor, the contact information. $20 a week for Grant Watch or $200 for the year. Grant Station is $200 for the year. I think they do a really good job of allowing you to really hone in on your program. UrbanAwarenessUSA.org is Black owned. Please sign up to their free e-newsletter. Plus, they have free training. They're great. Tell them Linda sent you. I want to show you really quickly, how do you manipulate, right, these sites? This is Grant Station, $200 for the year. I want you to look to my right where it says areas of interest. For every block you see, there's 20 drop-down blocks. You really get to hone in on your service or your programming, input your service, input your target population, input the type of support, push a button, you will get a list of grants. Now, let me say something to all of you about location, because a lot of you, I believe, leave money on the table. Start local. Don't be seduced by these $2 and $3 million government grants. Start local. Meet with your local community foundation, your local corporations that are providing grants. Oh my goodness, the utility companies, they typically have pretty deep grant pockets. All right. Meet with them. It's easier to get local grant money, right? But don't disregard your national grant makers. A fund could be originating out of Texas and you're in Tennessee and still get a portion of that grant. All right. And this is also for my global community. You could live here in the US and serve a population in Kenya and get grants. You could live in Ghana and serve a population in Ghana and get grants. This is also for the international community. This is not just for US-based organizations. Right in the middle, you see global grant makers. All right. So this is Grant Station, $200 for the whole year. Now, I will not go through all of these, but I mainly create this list so that you understand there are still grants for you as a Black organization. Some of them are focused solely for your communities. And I have to just give a special shout out to Progressive, because 2 years ago, Progressive had a $25,000 grant. You had to buy a car with the grant. It was only for Black-owned businesses. Of course, with all of the pressure, they tweaked it a bit. But what did they do? They increased it to $50,000. So now they have a $50,000 grant. And you have to buy a car with the grant money. I never heard of this before. So apply for it. Annuity fund, financial literacy, that's a Black grant. Do you have a Black-led nonprofit? Go to this site, support Black charities. There's a list of grants. Operation Hope, John Hope Bryant wants to help 1 million Black businesses. He's at 400,000. Sign up is free. Do you have a brick and mortar, physical location? Wish.com and Main Street. LISC, they've given away over $1 billion since 1979. Shea Moisture is laser focused on communities of color. Are you opening a Black hair care salon? Apply for that grant. Now, let's go down to, let's see, Amarillo. They're in Texas. You see the word small there? All they do is focus on small organizations, because you might be saying, Linda, I'm a solopreneur, like I can't get grants. Solopreneurs get grants too. Or you might be saying, it's just me. I don't have some huge organizational chart. I don't even pay my staff. I don't even pay myself. You don't need some huge organizational chart. You know that all volunteer nonprofits get grants, right? So be encouraged. Startups. Yes, busy.com and sky'sthelimit.org. They both provide startup grants. All right. So yes, there are grants available. This is just a tiny list. Now, I know I have a lot of women on here with me. This slide is for you. I will only focus on one of these. Amber Grants for Women. They give away $30,000 every single month. $10,000 is earmarked towards startups. $10,000 is earmarked towards just generic organizations. And $10,000 is earmarked for an industry. For the month of May, they're focused on mental and emotional health. All right. And then there's a Her Rise grant, right? So there are grants available. All right. This is just a small list. Now, really quickly, I want all of you to put into the chat, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about banks and money? Banks and money. Into the chat. Banks and money. First thing that comes to your mind. Loan, complicated. They don't like to give it out. Credit score, interest. Do you know that banks are some of the largest providers of grant money? Grant money, we're talking of hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Hundreds of millions of dollars in grant money, not loans, grant money. Yes, you need to meet with them. I'm giving you 4 hot leads: Bank of America, Wells Fargo, TD Banks, and Truist. They're all providing grants. All right. I'm in Ohio. One of the largest foundations in Ohio is the Key Bank Foundation, right? Key Bank. Banks, do not sleep on them. No, it is not your branch manager. It's usually a VP, like a VP of economic development or community reinvestment, right? I'm going to mention credit scores in the Q&A. Very helpful information that you will need to know. All right. Now, let's talk about ChatGPT for a moment, artificial intelligence. It is fantastic. It's not coming, people. It's here. It can work wonders. It will give you your time back. It is phenomenal, but please don't think it's some magic potion. There's no button you push and poof, there's your magical, perfect grant application. That's not the way AI works. You have to feed AI. You have to feed AI your information. This is how you can avoid any ethical issues, right? Because there are foundations that now have software that can detect if you only use AI to just whip out an application. You need to use your own words. Nobody can describe your organization better than you. Nobody else knows what's going on better than you. At least understand the basics of what you need to include, and then you can feed that information into AI. So yes, you need to understand how to write your mission and your impact statement and your statement of need and your describing your target population. And then you feed that information to AI, and it will help perfect it for you. Now that brings me to the bonus surprise. I've created something that will help you to develop that great grant template that you can start applying for grants. And even if you want to place portions of it in the AI, you can, but you have it ready. It is a grant writing course. I take you through every part of the grant application. This is how I won $17 million. I put it in a course so that you can do the same. And your little secret weapon is going to be me, because I'm going to serve as your grant coach. All right. Now, the course will teach you how to write every part of the grant application, from the mission to the impact statement. And the course will teach you how to research so that you are finding the organizations that want to give you funding. But here's where you have the advantage with the coaching. We have a private Facebook group. You're going to come to the Facebook group and ask your questions so that we know how to help you. Let's say you meet with the foundation. Do you know what to say? Do you know how to say it? Do you know what questions to ask? Do you know how much money to ask for? The course will teach you how to create the budget, but do you know whether or not you should be asking for operating support or program project support? There's a huge difference, right? You come into our phenomenal Facebook group and you'll get the help. I'm in there a lot, right? Because we give you support that you need. I truly believe it's so important for you to be in a community of support. Trying to do this on your own can lead to so much frustration. And then you give up and you quit and you stop. And that's not what anybody wants you to do. That's not what you want to do. And certainly the people that you want to serve that's waiting on you to produce this dream of yours, the nonprofit or the small business, they don't want that to happen either. So this is a real course. This is not some YouTube course of videos, right? You get lessons. I've been hired over the last 17 years to not just write grants, but to create grant applications, including develop grant questions, right? So this course is similar to you completing an in-depth grant application, because the questions that I've been developing that I've seen on grant applications are in my course. So by the time you're done, you have a phenomenal grant template. You're taking that template and you're going to apply to grant after grant after grant. This is why it makes it easier and faster. And then you can always include the information into AI, right? And you even get grant examples so that you know what successful grant answers look like, right? Now, I do something that nobody else in the country is doing. You get a list of 600 organizations that provide funding. So if you are ready to start getting this grant money, this is for you. And I talked about the private Facebook group. It is phenomenal. We drop grants in there continuously, right? So if you want to know where there are grants, the latest grants, the newest grants, we put them in the Facebook group. And guess what? The other students that are already in there, they probably drop as many or more grants than I do because it's about collaboration. Everybody wants everybody else to win. That's why it's a community. And to just keep you accountable, I give you an hour of group coaching with me live, 1 hour a month. You hop on, you let me know how you need help. And people who know me know I stay until the end, until every single question has been answered. Now, I want you to look at the numbers here. These numbers are very important. They're not numbers that you're going to pay. This is not what you're paying for the course. You're not paying anywhere near these numbers for the course. But I've had this course audited 3 times to make sure you're getting what you need. So the 12 modules and those 35 lessons are valued at $3,549. The videos, you're getting $599 worth of videos. You're getting $500 worth of a funding list. Yes, you need planners and grant trackers to stay on track and workbooks worth $350. So this is what you need to see. This is very important, people. Yes, my course is worth $5,000. And look, I have friends who charge $2,000 for their grant writing courses, and you don't even get access to them. You don't get nearly what you get here. Literally yesterday, a young lady said, "Oh my gosh, Linda, I saw a grant writing course, $4,000. It's not even half of what you're providing." So my regular price is $997. I try to keep it affordable. I know it's been happening for the last 5 months. So I reduced it to $497. I'm here to help you get grant money, even given all of these cuts, right? I don't want to be another hurdle for you. I want to be a help for you. And I don't want this course to be a roadblock. So I try to keep the price as low as possible. You hopped on the webinar, you could have been somewhere else at noon today. So you get to take $200 off. Yes, $200 off. So you're paying $297 for everything. Like, this is literally as low as I can take this course because I know it can help you. It is helping organizations that look just like yours to get grant money, who never thought they would get any grant money. It's $297 for everything. Is one payment. It's the course. It's the Facebook group. It's even the live group coaching with me. Just use your code so that you can take the $200 off. It's MAY28. And if you need more help, you have a 2-month payment plan available. Put a T on the end of the code, MAY28, with the little T for 2 months. Now, what you read right at the bottom is correct. The course never expires. You know, a lot of courses expire after what, 6 months, 9 months? So you get the course, the Facebook group, the coaching, write everything off. Is completely tax deductible. The $297, write it off. If you are a nonprofit, it's an expense. If you are a small business, it's a business or educational expense. And you even get a certificate of completion. And yes, you get templates. Remember, I explained how you meet with the foundation? Through an email, I give you the email template. Remember, I talked about you needing to create the partnership? I give you an email template to send to the partners. I have a grant writing application template for you, right? You want an MOU, a memorandum of understanding with your partners? I have one. You want to create maybe a sponsorship kit to get sponsors, right? In addition to grants, I have a template for you. Everything's $297. All right, you've got 3 days. So if you want to buy the course, the link is in the chat. All right. If you want to buy the course for $297, click the link, but click the $497 link because you have a coupon. But click $497. This is what everybody else is paying, not you. And keep in mind the codes are lowercase. All right, that's important. You will come to this page here. You see $497. Input your code MAY28. It will take off $200. You're at $297 now. You see this little block here? Oh, that's a deep dive. You and me, private VIP session. I'm going to do a deep dive into your organization because before you and I talk about grants, I want to hear about your mission. your vision, your infrastructure, your target population, and your programming, so that you leave with complete clarity. Many of you come into this session with like 4, 5, 8 ideas. You will leave with one. All right. And you also get a little mini list of grants. It's $495. It is a strategy session with me, private, you and me. And you get the session notes, and you even get the video. The testimonials are all in the Facebook group of people who have taken just that one session. The only time you see it for $195 is if you buy it with the course. Other than that, you'll be paying $495 for it. But it's $195, you just add it to the $297. All right. We have something else special for you. I'm trying to make it easy. If you need help, we have Affirm, Afterpay, or Klarna. It's 4 months, same as cash. I want you to think about this. The course is $300. Divided over 4, you're paying $75 a month, right? That doesn't even sound right, but that's what you're going to be doing. I don't even know of a $75 grant, right? Your first grant, you pay for everything, all right? So if you just want to use the buy now, pay later, 4 months, same as cash, right? Put in your coupon code, you got $297. You click these payment method boxes until you see Affirm, Klarna, little drop down. You'll probably see that. That's for Afterpay. Or you can just pay with a credit card, a bank withdrawal statement, or what else do we have? Cash Out, Google Pay, PayPal. So one payment of $297, or you can divide it over 4 payments. All right. And yes, you can add the $195 onto it. Right now, we did offer a little 2-month payment plan. If you want that, hit 2 times $275. That's what everybody else pays, not you. Use your coupon. Most people don't have one. You have a big one. MAY28 with the little T, you'll be paying $175 a month for 2 months. All right. Now, for those of you who are ready, I have a boot camp. I will teach you 2 months worth of work in 2 days. It's 7 hours a day for 2 days. At the end of those 2 days, you leave with a completed grant application. You leave with a completed grant template. You will leave with a list of national and local grants. You will be taught AI, so you will learn how to use it. You will leave with an implementation plan. You will leave with your list of partnerships. 2 months worth of work in 2 days is $1,997, or 2 monthly payments of $1,249. Keisha took the boot camp February 27th and 28th. She had never written a grant before. 6 weeks later, she had her first grant. 2 weeks after that, she had her first $100,000 grant, right? So literally 8 weeks after she took this boot camp, she had over $100,000. There's Keisha, right? You leave with a completed grant application. So you're ready to go. You're ready to go. But if you're interested in the boot camp, I can set up a time for a private session. Same amount of money, $19.97. Send me an email. All right. I'm going to put my email address into the chat. Now, these people spent $300 for the course. $300 for the course. That was it. Less than $300. I want you to look at this return on investment. Whitney got $200,000 in grant money. She did exactly what I'm asking you to do. She started local. She went national. She followed the format. She followed the format, right? Never thought she would ever get any grant money. $200,000. A couple of months ago, Kanisha won $100,000. Kimberly, 2 weeks ago, won $84,000. 2 weeks ago. Cherie, 2 weeks ago, won $11,000. That was her second grant. She won $10,000 last year. Here's a tip. When you get grant money, you wait a year, you reapply, you always ask for more money the second year around. Always ask for more money. She did, and she got it. Here's a massage company, an LLC in Charlotte, won $20,000. They said to me that they're very grateful and thankful for the course. They said it's been life-changing, and it has, because they've gotten grant after grant after grant. They have a format now. They learned the format. Alicia, $40,000. Christina has an online educational consulting firm. No, you don't need a brick and mortar. She had never written a grant before, and she was horrified. She said, I didn't even have the confidence to follow through on applying for grants. For all of you, I need you to hear me on this. Your success is on the other side of your fear. Your success is on the other side of your fear. She did it and she won. Emily did it and she won. LegalZoom grant, $10,000. Quanisha got a $750 grant from Walmart. You may think that's a low amount, but guess what? She paid for the course. She paid for the one-on-one session that she bought. She said, Linda, that one-on-one session we had is getting my organization funded. But guess what? She's now a partner with Walmart. So what is she going to do next year? Apply for more money. All right. Here's your bonus one. I talked about AI. I created a AI grant guide. This is 10 steps to easier and faster grant writing. This will teach you how to use AI to write grants lightning fast. This will give you back your time. $99. You're getting it free. Free if you buy the course before Sunday. I'm giving you this information because I want you to be successful, because I know what's going on. I know there's been hurdle after hurdle put in front of you with Black organizations, right? I'm here to counter as much as I can, right? You're getting this free. The second bonus, you will get this if you buy the course today. Some of you might have heard of the U.S. Black Chambers, right? They're the lead organization of all of the local Chamber of Commerces for Black organizations. They have a Buy Black list. In this list, they have a list of grants for you as a Black-owned business or a Black-led nonprofit. It's $200 to subscribe. I will give you the latest version for free, the May version. You'll get it today if you buy the course today. All right? You'll get the AI if you buy the course before Sunday. All right? I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. We're done. We're done. It is Q&A time. But before we get to the Q&A, there's one thing I need you to do for you. Not for me. For you. I believe in manifestation. Some of you have been at this for a long time, but you're not doing it correctly. You don't know how to do it. You don't know where to go. You get frustrated. You stop. You start again, right? Or you listen to some pretty incorrect information on social media, because I see it too. I know it's out there because I read about it, right? I believe in manifestation. I want all of you right now. I want you to get this out of you. I want you to release it. Everybody, right now into the chat. Before you leave here, do this for you. I want you to write, I am ready to get grant money. Yes, write it in the chat. I am ready to get grant money, every single one of you. I need you to write this for you. Do this for you. Don't do this for me. Do this for you. I spoke to a young lady a couple of weeks ago, literally broke my heart. She had a nonprofit for 17 years. 17 years. Had never written a grant. Had never written a grant. This is what I'm talking about. K, Tara, N. Brown, write this down. Geraldine, Jonathan, I'm ready to get grant money. Get this out. Put this out into the universe. Jacqueline, Roderick, Randolph, put this out into the universe. Dawn, I'm ready to get grant money. Paul, Cheryl, Jody, right? The person with the Motorola cell phone. Yes. Kimberly, Loren, Nasa, right? I believe this is Carmela, Lorraine, Yee. Get this out. Get this out. Get this out. Jacqueline, I'm ready to write. I'm ready to get grant money. Like, claim this. Get this out of your spirit, right? Your success, I've been in this industry 17 years. Take me at my word on this. Your success is on the other side of your fear. There's nothing to be fearful about. I'm here to help you. I'm literally here to help you get this done, right? Yes, I'm ready to get grant money. Carol and Kimberly, yes. All right. James, yes. Those of you who haven't written it, like this is your organization, right? I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. Like, write this down. Just write it down. Just say the words. Just say the words, right? I'm ready to get grant money. because so much of this starts up here. You've seen that organization that look just like yours, Black-owned organizations, Black-led nonprofits are getting grant money every day. Every day. 2 weeks ago, $84,000, $11,000 every day. But yes, there's a format. There's a format, right? There's a formula. There's a process to this. And that's where I come in to help you, right? That's right, Tiffany. All of us will get grant money. Speak it into the universe, right? I'm here so that you don't give up, because I'm just convinced a lot of what is going on is for you to give up. $190 billion, right? Yes, the money is available. Don't believe everything you see in the media. All right. I'm going to the Q&A. I'm starting in the Q&A box, and then I'm going to go over to the webinar chat. You write it off. It is tax deductible. Yes. Write it off. My focus is on DI mission of the disabled. That is why I pivoted to an LLC and later to a nonprofit. Which is fine. Have your DEI mission, because there are some organizations that will clearly indicate that they are still giving grant money, and they will write out DEI, that whether it's towards the disabled or women or communities of color, that's great. But I'm saying just be prepared and know what buzzwords to look for. That means Black, like underrepresented, right? Or undervalued, right? Or systemic, right? Inequities. Just be prepared to know what to look for, just in case you have to tweak that language. I've gotten myself in some debt before I even got a chance to get started. Can the grant be used to pay off my business credit cards? Grants are going to be used to pay off your programming and your services and your operations, right? So the best way that you can use a grant is to pay for operations and services so that you don't have to use your business credit card, right, to incur more debt. So get your grant to pay for your operations, right? So you don't have to incur more debt. So you get some of your operating costs paid for. But keep in mind, you have to show impact for the grant money that was used, right? So it has to be more than you paying off credit cards. That's not what grant money is used for. But you can use it to pay for your operating costs. If you're currently operating, you still have costs. Use it to pay for those costs. All right. And if I were you, I would look at getting a low interest loan. There are organizations, and this is part of the advice and to help you get, once you get into this community, I have organizations that I know that offer very low interest loans. I have one organization that offers a no interest loan that you could possibly use to pay off the credit card so that you're not paying, significantly higher interest, right? And I'm happy to share that information once you come into the community and I know more about your organization, all right? Is it possible to get a grant to start an event venue? Sure. First of all, you can get a grant to start anything as long as you're doing something legal, right? The question is, how do you find the grant? And that's where the course comes in. It will help you to know where to look for the grant. But something else you have to ask yourself, what are you doing with the event venue? Remember, the more you are able to niche down, the easier it is going to be for you to find grant money. Let's say your event venue is to hold, I'm making this up, community events for senior citizens, right? Now you can apply for a grant because you are serving senior citizens at your event venue, right? Let's say your event venue is going to be used to, could be hold events that are geared towards like veterans, right? Now you can look for grants that are geared towards organizations that serve veterans. It depends on what you're using the event venue for. Or maybe you can just get a community development grant, because wherever you're hosting or wanting to start this event is going to help build up the community, right? It's part of the community. So then it matters less what you're doing in the event. but the fact that you want to help build up the community by creating and opening up this event venue. But this is where you have to really have a vision of what you're wanting to do and who you're wanting to serve. So maybe it's an event venue that you want to rent out, right? So maybe somebody wants to open up a daycare center, and part of your venue, certain days of the week, hosts a daycare center. There are grants for daycare centers. So now maybe you can get a grant because part of your services, right, is it going to be helping to support daycare centers. So you have to think through exactly what you want to do with whatever it is that you want to open. How to get started with the travel industry. Want to focus on group travel. I can't tell you how to get started in the travel industry. That's not my industry, right? But there are travel industry professionals in the course. So when you come into the Facebook group, use it as a way to reach out to other organizations. I've got over 2,000 people just in the Facebook group, right? That are all students. And not all students are even in the Facebook group. But this is what happens. You come into the Facebook group, you say, I want to get into the travel industry. Are there any other travel agents? This entire community is about collaboration. There's no competition. The students want to help other students, right? But I want to use your example to express to all of you how and where you should be seeking grants. Don't forget your industry. Look to your industry for grants. You're in the transportation travel industry. Every major airline has a foundation. So you should be seeking grants from Delta and American and Southwest. Every major airline has a foundation, including your other transportation companies like UPS. They have a grant program. FedEx, they have a grant program. Look to your own industry for money. You want to open up a restaurant? Hennessy and Tito's, they make some type of alcohol or liquor. You know, they both have grant programs. Look to your industries, right? That's one way that you could be seeking grant money immediately. My small business is a soul food catering, but I want a storefront restaurant. There are 2 grants I know right now that are geared for storefront communities. One is on wish.com and the other is mainstreet.com. So who would my focus be in the community, right? Your banks. Do you know that your local city government, they have grant money? You're trying to contribute to your community by opening up a storefront. You should be meeting with your council people, letting them know what you're wanting to do and asking them for grant money. All right. That's just 2 that I could think of right now. There are many others. Are grants available for Black female inventors for protection, manufacturing, and marketing? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I happen to know Lisa Askelis. I don't know if you know Lisa. Lisa is called the QVC Queen. She has inventions on QVC, on HSN. She's a Shark Tank consultant, right? You come into the course, I can literally introduce you to Lisa. She can help you bring whatever you're trying to bring to market, right? But there's an SBIR grant, right? That's great for inventors. There are other grants for inventors, right? You're trying to produce product. So yes, there are grants. You just need to know where to look, but absolutely there are grants. There's an organization called 37angels.com because you may need significant money, right? All they do is invest in women-owned businesses up to $150,000. 37angels.com. I think you should be speaking with them as well. All right. All right. Yes, there are grants for businesses. Okay, good. All right, I'm going over to the webinar chat. So somebody asked me the difference between a grant and a sponsorship so that I can explain it to you. Let's see, I'm going down. Oh, okay, let me do this quickly. You want to know how to buy the course. I'm going to do this really quickly. I'm going to share my screen. Let me pull up where it is here. Really, really quickly. This is how you buy the course. I'm going to share my screen. Get this done super quick. All right. You want to pay the $297? I'm doing this live. Hit $497. Hit purchase now and put your coupon code. It is MAY28. Hit apply. It will take off $200. You're paying $297. You want to meet with me privately? That's $195. Hit add to order. You're now at $492. Put in your email to create your account. You can pay via credit card, Cash Out Pay, Google Pay, PayPal. You want to take advantage of the 4-month same as cash. Keep hitting this box until you see Affirm. Little drop-down menu has Afterpay or Klarna. They have 4-month same as cash. All right. Now, you want to just pay us twice, $175 a month for 2 months. Hit the payment plan, 2 times $275. But you have a coupon, remember? Input your coupon code. What is it? MAY28 with the little T. Hit apply. It took off $100. You're paying $175 a month for 2 months. And yes, you can add on the grant coaching. All right. Got that? All right. Back to the Q&A. All right. The course is self-paced. You at your own pace. Those of you who are buying the course, you will get 3 emails. One email will be, oh my goodness, your link to the Facebook group. You want to be in the Facebook group. The other email will be where you create your username and password. You don't wait on me. You get started. You come to the Facebook group for help. I'm in there all the time. You'll be sick of seeing my face in the Facebook group. Watch out for the next live group coaching call so that I can help you live. All right. But look for the emails when you buy the course. Look for the emails. All right. All right. Yes, you have 3 days. You have until Sunday. But before we do anything, we have to stop what we are doing right now. We have to give Lynn and Tony and Antoinette some love. Lynn was like, Tony and Antoinette, you're not leaving me behind. Lynn and Antoinette and Tony, someone, I need to see some clapping of hands. I need to see some hearts. I need to see some love. I give these people some love because they have decided to stop being tired. They got tired of being tired, of not knowing where to look, being told the wrong information, right? That is so much a part of what happens, right? And they're like, I'm going to do this for less than $300. They're going to get professional help now. They're going to have an entire community of support, right? And guess what? For those of you who are buying, they're going, oh my goodness, they're going to get the Buy Black guide, the free AI guide. But this is what I'm going to do for all of you. When you come into the Facebook group, I'm telling you, the more hurdles they try to put in front of you, I'm trying to knock them down. When you come into the Facebook group, I'm going to ask you for a brief synopsis of your organization. When you give me that brief synopsis in the Facebook group, I'm going to give you links to some grants. I'm going to give you links to some grants for your organization. All right? That's what I'm going to do for you. When you come into the Facebook group, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. All right? All right. Now I'm going to go slow because I saw quite a few questions in the webinar chat, and I want to make sure I answer them all. All right. Let's see. Life Memories LLC, End of Life Planning and Elder Dementia Care Services. I want to take that as an example. I don't know if she's still here or not, but she has clearly a end of life planning and elder dementia care services. This is for all of you to hear me on. These are just some more free nuggets for you. You should be applying to multiple grants. I've already explained that, right? This is how you do this across categories, right? So this is Deneen, I think it is. We know Deneen, I believe she's a person of color. Look for grants for people of color that are led by people of color. That's one. I don't know if this is a female. Let's say she's a female. I don't know. If she is, look for grants geared towards women-led organizations, right? She has an LLC. She has a small business. Look for grants geared towards small businesses. 3 different categories. Her target population is those who are planning end of life, right? Sounds like she's probably working with the families. of those who are nearing the end of their life, right? And she also includes dementia care and elder care. So her target population, right, is the elderly. There are grants that are specific to those that service the elderly. That's number 4, right? Depending upon what she's doing, she's saying dementia care, right? So she's providing dementia care. That's health and wellness. That's 5. 5 different categories where she should be seeking grants, and each and every one of you should be doing the same thing. Each and every one of you, right? That's why you have to be able to break it down. All right. So, and by the way, if you forgot to put in the code, don't worry, you'll get a refund immediately once we're done. Because some people get excited and they don't put in the code. Don't worry about it. You'll get an immediate refund once we're done. We're going to your account, so don't worry about it. All right. All right. Let's see. I answered the question about the grants for Black female inventors. Yes. Da, 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 da. All right. Let's see. Other questions. What is the cost to acquire a 501c3? I have no idea, but you do have the link. Go to the link. We dropped the link into the chat. irs.gov/charities and nonprofits. The link, Melissa, could you just drop the link again into the webinar chat? Go to that link, irs.gov, and they will give you the information that you need. But I know there is a cost. I'm not sure what it is, but it's worth it. You need your 501c3. Like, there's no getting around that if you're a nonprofit. I talked about ChatGPT. Let's see. Can it be a forecast? I think you're talking about the impact. Is that what you're talking about? The impact, or are you talking about the budget, Kay? Tell me what should be a forecast, right? So your operating budget, that's what it is. It is a forecast because you don't know what you're going to be spending, right? But you can make an educated guess. So your operating budget is going to be a forecast. Absolutely. Right. Melvin says, yes, Kay, all budgets are our best guesses, right? That's exactly what they are. That's exactly what they are. All right. My businesses are in custom apparel and photo booths. I do a lot of volunteer community school events for free. Not sure what would be available for those type of services, right? So you have a small business, right? However, this is what is going to set you apart because you literally provide services free to the community. So if I'm giving out grant money and everything being equal, let's say I have 2 different apparel and photo booth companies, and one is so ingrained in the community that they're providing free events for the community, they volunteer for the community, who's going to get the grant money? The one who's ingrained in the community. For all of you, whatever you're doing, you need to be doing something a little different. What makes you a little different? What makes you unique? What is it that you're doing a little extra special? Right? That foundation would say, okay, this is something we want to fund, right? If you buy the course, Randolph, come into the Facebook group, put the link to your website and ask for a review of your website. Keep in mind, I have a couple thousand people in the Facebook group. You're going to get some feedback. If I'm in there, I will be happy to give you feedback about your website. Websites can be important, all right? And the last time I looked, now this was a couple of weeks ago, so don't quote me on this, but helloalice.com was providing Hello.com is a grant site. They were offering website development for $59. I don't know if they still are. You can go there and find out. But Randolph, if you come into this community, post your website, you will get feedback on it. I assure you of that. All right. So foundations will only fund according to their focus. This is what NASA said, and she's absolutely right. This is why you have to know where and how they fund. You've got to know where and how they fund. All right. Let's see other questions. There's still time to ask questions, so you can drop yours in either the webinar chat or the Q&A. I'm just looking here. Thank you, Randolph. Dolores says, AI has given me so much that I needed and did not have to write. Exactly. The AI guide that you get when you buy the course, I have a tutorial video in there. You will just be amazed. I show you literally how you can input maybe 2 sentences that you've written, and it will give you paragraphs. It is literally amazing. It will give you your time back. I can't stress that enough. It will give you your time back. All right. Melvin says, I started writing grants in February and I've cranked out 17 and 9 LOIs. Once you get into this framework, once you get this grant template, you will be amazed how easy it is for you to start cranking out grants, but you've got to get a great template, which is what the course will help you to do. All right. The vehicle grant is progressive. So when you get the replay, go to this slide where I list the grants. It's the very first one. It's the progressive. It's called Drive Forward. Or just Google Progressive Drive Forward Grant. It's a $50,000 grant. I don't think the deadline has passed, but you can double check. Be sure to, don't sleep on your banks. This is one of the reasons why I included banks, so that you could understand that not all grant money comes from the federal government. And I said I wanted to mention, Angela mentioned credit score. When you are applying for a grant, this is what makes grants and loans so different. The organization is not asking you for your credit score, because the grant money is not for you. The grant money is for who? Your company or your nonprofit. So no, there are no credit scores that you have to provide. All right. No personal credit score that you have to provide. Unlike a loan, right? Fifth Third Bank, Melvin, yes, Fifth Third Bank provides grants. Citizens Bank provides grants. Key Bank provides grants. There are so many. Huntington Bank provides grants. This is why you need to understand there are grants available every day. Can't believe everything you see on TV. All right. Spread the information. Give this information. Tonight, we will be meeting at 7 o'clock. Share the link. Melissa, if you could just drop the link to tonight's webinar at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so that other people can get this information, so that they can understand. There's reason to be encouraged regardless of the news. All right. I've spent my own money chasing a grant. I did not get it. I guess it takes a while to get a notification. I just do not have the funds right now. So it typically takes about 3 months to be notified of whether or not you get a grant, right? Make sure you set chasing a grant. Make sure that's the grant that you should be chasing, right? There has to be an alignment. It can't just be about the amount. Whatever you were providing, is that where they were actually giving money? And what sets your organization apart, right? So something that I provide, now this is on a volunteer basis. When you get into the Facebook group, we have a portal, a file portal. That's where a lot of the templates are. But let's say you started writing, you just want another set of eyes on the application on a volunteer basis. You can create a post that says, would somebody just put another set of eyes on what I dumped into the file on a volunteer basis, on a volunteer basis. My service for me to review your grant application line by line is $1,500, but I'm also in the Facebook group. So if you dump some information in the Facebook group and I happen to be in there, I'm going to scan it for you and give you some feedback. All right. All right. All right. Let's see. Other questions. Let me get down to the end. I think we're almost done here. Oh my goodness. I'm ready to receive a grant. My business is at least 10 years old. I would say that would be true. That would be true. Let's see. Other questions, and I'm going to wrap it up. Don't worry. Let's see. Oh, don't worry. We're going to, those of you who didn't put in your code, we're going to refund your money right away. Don't worry about that. As soon as we're done, you'll get the refund. That happens. That does happen. Ah, I do not have the money for the boot camp. The boot camp is $19.97 or two payments of $12.49. So if you're interested in the boot camp, send me an email and we can set up a date. The course itself is $300 or two payments of $175. Right? That's the course, right? That's totally separate from the boot camp. If you're buying the boot camp, you do get the course as a part of the boot camp. So you don't have to pay separate. If you're buying the boot camp, you get the course. All right. Can we get money to acquire a franchise that will be a blessing to the community? There are some franchise grants, right? There are some grants that will allow you to apply the money if you have a franchise. You have to really know where to look. You have to really know where to look to get money if you are buying a franchise. All right, let's see. This course is online. It is an online course. You go at your own pace. There are no days for classes. The class that I have is your coaching class. It's once a month. It's live. You'll get the date for it. You go at your own pace so that you're not under pressure, right? This is built for you. You all live different lives, right? This is why I built this course online so that you go through it at your own pace. Some people zip through the course, other people it takes months, right? Go at your own pace. It's all online. Come into the Facebook group for help, come into the group coaching call for help, and to get you more help and more support, even embedded in the actual lessons, are what's called discussion starters. You ask a question, it will come directly to me and I will answer it, right? So you have access to me through those discussion starters, through the Facebook group, through the the live group coaching sessions. That's why I'm saying I literally know people who charge $2,000 for their grant writing courses. You get zero access to them, right? I'm here to help you, all right? Okay. Can the grant money be used to create a prototype? Absolutely. As a matter of fact, the SBIR grants, oftentimes those grants are to help you create a prototype. So the SBIR grants, they're research and development grants. So oftentimes I will see two parts to those grants, and typically each part is like $1 million. You get $1 million to help you create your prototype and $1 million to help you bring it to market. So those are research, those are R&D grants. That's why they're so large. But a lot of the SBIR grants are absolutely to help you create that prototype. All right. All right. Let's see. Other questions. Oh, excellent, Paul. Excellent question. Credit unions. He's asking, does credit unions also give grants? Rarely do they give grants. Rare. They give sponsorships. So banks give grants and sponsorships. Credit unions give sponsorships. Here's the difference between a grant and a sponsorship. When you get a grant, the organization that provides you with the grant funding, they really can't expect anything of value from you. They can ask you to complete their grantee report, showcasing how you spent their grant money, right? But that's about it. A sponsorship is different. You need to expect to give up something. Either that organization wants you to put their tchotchkes in your swag bag, or maybe they want to talk to your audience or put an ad in your program booklet. Expect something, right? We have sponsorship kit templates for you if you're seeking sponsorships. And all of you should be seeking sponsorships from your local companies, right? I have a client. She has a niche organization in marketing. She helps only law firms to market their services. Now, these are high income individuals, right? They're attorneys. So I told her, I said, why don't you go to your high end dealership, your luxury dealership, Doesn't matter, Ford, Mercedes, Lexus, whatever. Work on an arrangement. Have them give you a $30,000 sponsorship. Give you $30,000 for the ability for them to place their car in front of the center where you're going to be hosting your event. It's a win-win situation. You get $30,000. They get to place their car in front of one of their target populations, high-income individuals. You see how that works? Yes. All right. But credit unions, sponsorships, banks, grants, and sponsorships. I'll round off it will. The Facebook group is free for students. Yes. Yes, there are some grants that you can use if you're opening up a franchise, but you've got to do the research and find them. You have to do the research. They do exist. Do the research. All right. I believe we're done. Let me make sure I answered all of the questions in the Q&A. I've gone through I've completed the webinar chat. Are grants available for property purchase, construction for youth group homes? Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Nonprofit or small business? Yes. There absolutely are grants available to build youth group homes. But if I were you, I see this a lot. People wanting to build and construct something for a group home or an elder care home. I'm going to give you the same recommendation I give to them. Start small, start slow. Now you're talking about, at least $1 million. Have you handled grant money before? Because an organization is probably not going to give you $1 million grant if you have not done well with a $5,000 grant, right? So start slow. Lease out a property. Lease out a property. Get grant money to create a successful youth group home, leasing out that property. It's far less money than you trying to buy, unless it's your own property, right? But start small. Make that group home in that leased facility very successful. Then you can start applying for more and more and more grant money. Unless you have a partner, then maybe you want to ask for larger dollars if you have a partner, right? Will funders protect your invention? What do you mean by that? You have to protect your invention. What do you mean by protect your invention? So you should have protections for your invention, right? Whether you have a trademark or whether you have some type of copyright, right? Or some type of patent, you're required to protect your invention. Now, if you're afraid of whether or not you ask for an SBIR grant, right? And whether or not they're going to steal your work, that's not what they exist for. That's a government grant, and they exist to help you bring your product to fruition. But also you still need your own protections, like patents, like trademarks, like copyrights. That's up to you. All right. But I wouldn't be concerned about, especially a lot of the grants. That's why you have to make sure you are seeking grant money from legitimate organizations, right? They're not there to steal. This is for all of you. They're not there to steal your work. They exist to help you bring it to fruition. All right. All right. I believe we are done. We are done. So I want to thank all of you for hopping on. Please know you've got 3 days until Sunday to take the additional $200 off. People, you're getting a significant amount of help for less than $300, right? The Facebook group, the course, the group coaching, right? To move you forward, whatever you do, I need you to keep moving forward. Keep moving forward, right? But I would suggest that you not do this by yourself, because this is how you get frustrated, not knowing where to go or what to do. If you need the 2-month payment plan, you have it. If you need the 4 months, same as cash, you have that opportunity to do that as well, to get help that is going to be of such value to you as you move forward. And those people that you saw that won grants, most of them had never written a grant before. All right. But you can do this. You can do this. So hopefully I will see you all in the Facebook group over the course of the next 3 days. You'll be admitted to the Facebook group. Hopefully I will see you all there. But whatever you do, keep moving forward. There was a lot of really great information given to you today. You will get the replay later on. Use it. All right. Use it to move your organization forward. And hopefully I will see you in this community so that you can continue to get the help. And don't think you need to be at a certain place to buy the course, because even if you don't have your 501c3, you should be researching and writing grants so that by the time you get your 501c3, you can clip it to the grant and keep it moving. All right. But learn how to do the research, learn how to write about your organization, and learn how to use AI, because it's not going anywhere and it can help you tremendously. All right. So thank you so much. I appreciate you all for hopping on. Melissa, if you could just drop the link one more time to the 7 o'clock session. Please share this link with anybody that you know who needs to hear this information, right? Because I want you to be able to spread it, especially throughout communities of color, so that you know the money is available. The money is available, right? All right. Thank you so much. My name is Linda Peavy, creator of the course Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals, and founder of Evolve Consulting. Thank you so much. Have a blessed and a safe rest of your week and weekend. And hopefully I will see you all very soon in the Facebook group. And remember, answer the question that I'm going to give you about the synopsis, because I'm going to help you immediately. All right. All right. Thank you so much. God bless you. And whatever you do, be safe and keep moving forward. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Bye-bye.